countdown. Listen. And look at this scene as the Giants defeat the Minnesota Vikings 24-23. Alex Webster on the shoulders in a tremendously emotional thing here at Yankee Stadium. With the Giants getting off with a stunning upset over Minnesota 24-23.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video, and welcome to the Gridiron. And before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who's been watching my videos out there. I greatly appreciate it. If you can maybe subscribe to my channel, or maybe give this video a thumbs up, or leave a comment below, or maybe share the video, it would mean so much to me. But anyway, just thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check this video out. Thank you. Well, I got some, some little tidbits of news here for you as we start ramping up toward tomorrow night's game against the Washington football team. It's going to be a big game, big game for both teams. Both teams are 0-1. Neither one wants to go 0-2, okay? The Giants lost a 7th-round draft choice in next year's draft because when we traded Ryan Santoso to the Carolina Panthers, there was a little stipulation in there saying it had to be on the team for 2 games, and it's kind of like, oh, that's easy. I mean, it's a lock, right? No, didn't happen. Ryan Santoso, this past weekend, the game against the Jets, okay, he kicked 2 field goals, but he was 1 out of 2, all right, on extra points. And I guess because he missed an extra point, that cost his job. I guess. So the Carolina Panthers, all right, they went to the almighty, the powerful, the dominating Detroit Lions practice squad. They got Zane Gonzalez to take Ryan Santoso's place. So it'd be interesting to see how long Zane Gonzalez winds up staying on the Carolina Panthers team. But I mean, I guess maybe if Zane misses an extra point, they're going to cut him too. I mean, if he maybe misses a field goal, they'll cut him. I don't know, maybe they'll have 8 or 9 kickers during the year. I don't. Kind of weird. But, so Ryan Santoso was on the team for 2 games. We would get the 7th-round selection next year's draft. It's not a 1st or 2nd or 3rd or 4th. I mean, just the 7th, And for the most part, normally, most of the time, the 7th-rounders don't wind up being anything really special, so they make the team at all. But, it would have been nice to get another draft choice, but now we're down to 10 draft picks, okay? So, unfortunately, Ryan Santoso, I mean, the guy can punt. The guy can kick off. He can kick extra points. He can kick field goals. He's got a strong leg. He'll find another team, if not find his way back onto the Giants roster, right? But isn't it just funny? I mean, just how, you miss an extra point and it costs you your job. I mean, if you go back in time, I mean, some of these statistics are absolutely laughable, and the guys kept their jobs. 1976, the first year Joe Danello was with the Giants, okay? He was with the Giants from 76 to 82. First year, he was 8 out of 21. His field goal percentage was 38%. We kept him around. He stayed with us from 76 to 82, all right? The year before that, 1975, we had a guy, George Hunt, who kicked the ball straight on, okay? He was 6 out of 11. He was 54%. He was 24 out of 29 on extra points that year, too. He missed 5 extra points. So he was not a very good field goal kicker, right? He stayed around all year. We didn't get him. Oh, you missed a field goal. Sorry. We're going to let you go. Oh, just goes to show you how absolutely competitive it is nowadays. 1964. This guy's a Hall of Famer, right? Vince Lombardi didn't let him go. Matter of fact, after this, 1964, he stayed on the Packers for 2 more years, all right? But 1964, Paul Hornung was 12 out of 38. NFL record, missed 26 field goals in 1 season. His record, he was 31% field goal success rate, 1964. Packers kept him. They didn't let him go. The Giants, 1971, Pete Gogolak was 6 out of 17, 35%. Pete Gogolak was with us till 1974. I mean, we kept him, didn't let him go. 1965, one of the biggest jokes of all time. The Giants were 4 out of 25, 16% success rate on their field goals. Absolute joke, okay? The Giants had, basically, they had kind of like 2 field goal kickers. One guy, Bob Timberlake, was their kickoff specialist, and their long field goal kicker, okay? Then they had the guy who kicked extra points and the shorter field goal. His name was Andy Steinkula, all right? Now, this was in 1965. The Giants, after 1964, Y.A. Tittle, their Hall of Fame quarterback, and they retired his number also as well, number 14. That's why you'll never see anybody wearing number 14 for the Giants. He retired after 1964. So the Giants got Earl Morrall from the Detroit Lions. They drafted Gary Wood in 1964 from Cornell, and then they got Bob Timberlake, 1965. They drafted him from Michigan. He was a very good quarterback in college. Not so in the NFL. He played 1 year in the NFL, and that was it. But so Bob Timberlake, all right, in the third game of the season, a nationally televised game, okay, kicked the field goal, 43-yard field goal. I guess that was their long, anything maybe over 40 yards was a long field goal, so they put Bob Timberlake in there. So he kicked the field goal, all right, in the third game of the season. Okay, the Giants wind up winning that game 23-13 against Pittsburgh. Okay, that was the third game of the season. The last 11 games of the season, Giants didn't have a successful field goal. Last 11 games of the season, okay? On 3 weeks later, on October 24th in the game against the Browns, Andy Steinkula, all right, he was our right defensive end. He twisted his ankle, all right, and he wasn't kicking the rest of the year. Okay, so I don't even know if he played the rest of the year, to be honest with you. But I know he didn't kick off or kick field goals anymore the rest of the season. So Bob Timberlake was our field goal kicker, okay? So Bob Timberlake kicked, in the third game of the season, a 43-yard field goal. He had one try, and he made it. So he was 1 for 1, okay? The last 11 games of the season, he had 14 attempts. He missed them all. He was 1 for 15 during the season, and we kept him. I mean, he was 1 for 10. We kept him 1 for 11, 1 for 12, 1 for 13, 1 for 14, 1 for... Yeah. He stayed on the team the whole year, and we kept him. He was 1 for 15. What an absolute joke, and the Giants kept him. I mean, it just goes to show you can miss 14 field goals in a row. Of course, this was 55 years ago. Don't get me wrong, okay? But, I mean, nowadays you miss a point after touchdown, and you're gone. But, as I said, I'm sure he'll catch on someplace. Okay, you know, if not wind up working his way back onto the Giants, maybe practice squad or something like that, okay? Then you got Jabrill Peppers, okay? He's a little ticked off, maybe. You know, it's only the first game. You know, we'll have to wait and see how things go. You know, if it starts getting farther and farther and farther into the season and it winds up being the same thing going on, you know, he might start getting a little sour there, okay? But he only played 30 snaps, which was less than half of the snaps. All right, basically, I mean, last year with the Giants, he was like over 95% of this defense, he was on the field. You know, you couldn't drag him off the field. So he's not used to only playing less than half the snaps, okay? Now, part of the reason why, was there was 4 balls thrown his way. All right, when he was in coverage, they completed all 4 passes. The quarterback rating when he was in coverage is 102.1, so that's not too good. But he had 3 pass rushes when he was on, maybe in the box or whatever, and he was credited with 2 quarterback hurries. Okay, so Jabrill Peppers, he was on there for 30 snaps. He graded out, wasn't very good, but he was a 59.3, okay? Xavier McKinney, okay, was on there for 63 snaps, all right? He only graded out at 45.1, so he did worse than Jabrill Peppers did, okay? Now, is this some type of maybe writing on the wall? Because it's a big season for Peppers. I mean, it's a contract year. I mean, this is his 5th year. So if the Giants don't sign him, he's going to go someplace, all right? And what you want to do is you want to have a resume. Obviously, you want to stay healthy, okay, which would be huge, But, he wants to play. This is what I can do, okay? So if the Giants don't sign him, he's open to the market. Next year the cap's going to go up, okay? People are going to have some money to spend. Somebody's going to want a nice young stud of a safety. I can play and he can return punts, probably kickoffs. You put him in the box, put him in cut, put him. The guy can do a lot. The guy's a heck of an athlete, and the man wants to get paid. Okay, so we got him on his 5th year. Right now, so we got him on the cheap, but he wants to. Everybody wants to make it to the, especially if you're a 2nd or 3rd round pick or something. After 4 years, you want to get paid. That's when you want to, cash in. Get at least that one nice contract, okay, where you can really just take care of your family, hopefully forever. And your kids and all. Where you got some money coming in. And that's what he wants. And 30 snaps ain't going to be doing it. So we'll have to wait and see. Joe Judge's kind of trying to calm things down a little bit in the press conference and all. So don't read too much into it and this, that, and the other thing and all. But we're certainly going to have to keep our eye on it because if the Giants, I don't want to say this, but if they keep losing, right, and guys start getting a little sour and stuff like that, and they don't put him in there, boy, I could see him maybe starting to do a little talking there. But so. There's only one game. We'll have to keep an eye on it, see how it goes. But this is a big, big year for Jabrill Peppers. Contract-wise, huge year for him. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. Then we got an ex-GM, all right, who is kind of like trash talking to Giants. Now, it's hard to argue with him. It's sometimes hindsight's 2020. You can always talk about, I wouldn't have drafted this guy, and I wouldn't have drafted that. If you see a couple bad performances here and there, sure, I can say that about a lot of guys. I never would have drafted that guy. Even Louis Riddick, the guy from on Monday Night Football, okay, because he seems like to trash talk the Giants quite a bit. I know he came in for the job. Dave Gettleman wound up getting it, but Louis Riddick is very, he speaks pretty badly about the Giants too, with their draft picks, free agent picks, and the front office and Dave Gettleman and all of that. So he talks pretty bad about us too. But Louis Riddick isn't quite highly decorated as Mike Lombardi is. Okay, he's an ex-GM. Okay. He was with some of the greatest teams of all time, okay? He was with he started off in 1984 with the San Francisco 49ers. He was there from 1984 to 1987. The coach there was Bill Walsh, okay? In 1984, the 49ers won a Super Bowl. They beat the Miami Dolphins. 85, the Bears won. 86, the Giants won. 87, the Redskins won. So he won, but he was there one Super Bowl with the 49ers, okay? Then after that, he went to the Cleveland Browns, okay? And he was with the Browns from 1987 to 1995. And he was with a couple unbelievable, he was with, I guess you can I would possibly say the greatest coach of all time. He was with Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick coached the Browns, okay? But he was also there with Marty Schottenheimer, okay? Who's a phenomenal coach. It was during the regular season, one of the greatest coaches of all time. Once the playoffs rolled around, he just could not catch a break. But anyway, so he was with the Browns from 87 to 95, and he was with Bill Belichick. Then after that, he went to the Oakland Raiders, all right, from 1998 to 2007. Okay, so he was with Al Davis. He was with John Gruden. He went there when the Raiders went to the Super Bowl, through Super Bowl 37. They got stomped on by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that year. But, he was on a team that went to the Super Bowl, okay? Then he was with New England, in 2014 and 2015 with Bill Belichick, okay? And one of those years, the New England Patriots won Super Bowl 49, okay? So, I mean, he's been in the or he was in the NFL from 84 to 2015. So he was in the NFL for 32 seasons. He's went to Super Bowls, won Super Bowls, Hall of Fame owners, Hall of Fame coaches. All right, he's done it. He's done it. He's seen it. He, man, knows a lot. So when he speaks, okay, sometimes, it's one of those, when, you might want to listen because the guy knows what he's talking about. All right, so he has some negative things to say about the Giants, and some of it's kind of, merited. It's hard to argue with him. So I got this article. I just wanted to read it. Former NFL General Manager Mike Lombardi. It signified the start of yet another NFL season in which the Giants will come up short in a number of ways. And he didn't hold back when ripping several parts of the franchise on his GM Shuttle podcast. All right. They can't evaluate their own players. They overjudge their own players. They're not good, Lombardi says. They're not even good on D. Wow. Everybody thinks, well, we're good on defense. They gave up 420 yards with an exclamation point. And that's with K.J. Hamler dropping a touchdown pass. Yeah, I guess it could have been even worse than 27-13. Lombardi went on to discuss how Jabrill Peppers was another weak spot on the defense. Maybe that's why he only played 30 snaps. And Pro Football Focus backs up that claim. Peppers was given a 52.5 coverage grade by Pro Football Focus this week, which ranked at number 171 out of 232 eligible defenders. Okay. Before too long, however, Lombardi's focus shifted over to the dismal offensive effort, taking Jason Garrett's system to task. He said there's no imagination. Can't argue with that. And Barkley is not ready to play yet, Lombardi said. He had 10 carries for 26 yards. He has no juice in his lower body. Did anybody watch him practice? Right? Barkley and Booker had 14 carries for 33 yards. I mean, there's no design in the running game. Can't argue with that. And he makes fun of Jason Garrett. He says, the clapper, because that's all Jason Garrett does. He's in he's clapping all the time. And he does. Even with the Cowboys, he does. So he's the clapper, right? The clapper refuses to design a run game, which is true. This is just not a misdemeanor. But look, the Giants have been bad for 5 years. They're 28th in win percentage over the last 5 years. They're 26th in win percentage over the last 10 years. This isn't just a one-time thing. John Mara is one of the nicest human beings on planet Earth. Unfortunately, John Mara can't have an honest conversation about his organization or evaluate himself. That's just a problem. It's just a hard thing. He's loyal to people, which he is. He likes people. They're stuck in time. They can't get out of it. They won't change, and they think Garrett is a good coach. They think because he went to Princeton, he's a great offensive mind. No, he's not. It's one of the worst offenses to watch, and you're not helping the quarterback. So he's got a he's got a good point. Now, Patrick Graham's not going nowhere. I mean, that ain't happening. The first domino to fall will be Jason Garrett. I mean, if the Giants for 59 minutes and 59 seconds, okay, had 7 points. Okay. They had, before that last garbage time touchdown drive, the Giants had under 300 yards of offense. Okay. The Denver Broncos were not, a dominating powerhouse defense last year. And the Giants had barely over 300 yards of offense against them. They had 7 points. And as the clock struck 0, Daniel Jones ran into the end zone to make it 13 points. Okay. At home. With the firepower you got, there's no imagination. You look at other teams' offenses and they get more out with less guys, with less talent. Less talent, maybe quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, whatever, you know what I mean? And you just look at the offense just looks, this is like, I don't know, like 42 or something. Just, hand the ball off, run up the middle. I mean, it's just. So if it doesn't get better, which I don't see how it's going to, honestly, I really, we'll see. But if it doesn't get better, look for Jason Garrett to be the first domino to go. And I think, Mike Lombardi ain't going to be GM because he's been out of football for quite a few years now, so he's not going to be GMing anybody. But things don't get much better either. Look for Dave Gettleman by the end of the season to be looking for a new job too. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants! Woo!